I want to issue a simple challenge to you today for when you go home. We could talk about all kinds of ways where we strategize to protect this picture, this holy picture of Christ in the church. But I want to just issue this challenge. I want you to go home and start marriage counseling. Every single person in this room. And I'm not talking about for you and your spouse, although if you have thrown a meatloaf lately, it could be advised. I want you to start marriage counseling for your children, whether they are 3 or 13 or 23. I want you to begin to plant a desire in them for family, and I want you to do anything at any cost to protect it. Here's marriage counseling for your children in 2 easy steps. 1, plant a desire for family into your children. Let them see your passion for it in your own marriage. When they're very small, when they're preschoolers, they just want to be like you. They just want to copy you. So love on your wife, love on your children, and give them a passion and desire. My little 3-year-old nephew the other day, I was talking to him and I said, Peter, when you grow up, do you want to be a football player? He's a tank of a kid. No, Aunt Dannah. I said, Peter, when you grow up, are you going to be a baseball player? No, Aunt Dannah. When I grow up, I'm going to take care of people like my daddy. God, forgive me. God, forgive me. They just want to be like us. When they're older, they ask why, and it gets on our nerves. But tell them why you love being a husband, why you love being a wife, why you love being a mom, why you love being a daddy, and why there's one man and one woman in your home, but 2 men in another home. Explain to them and answer the whys, because I promise you that if you don't, the world will. And when they are teenagers, coach them and recoach them and recoach them. You can't control every decision that they make, but coach them. Tell them what your expectations are about dating and marriage. Tell them what kind of a husband or wife they should be looking for. Send them out into the game. Let them fall and scrape their knees and bring them in and coach them back up. Here are some first let me open to you a verse that I think is important. 2 Timothy 3, 1-5. I don't want to miss this. It says this, but mark this, there will be terrible times in the last days. People will be lovers of themselves, disobedient to their parents, without love. The word there, without love, was the Greek word astorgos. And you know what it meant? Without family love. No love for the family. And that is what the world is trying to do to our sons, and I promise you it's what the world is doing to our daughters. Nancy Lee DeMoss and I wrote Lies Young Women Believe a few years ago, and we commissioned a study of homeschool girls, Christian school girls, and public school girls across this nation, all Christian. And do you know what they said? Didn't matter the school type. They believed that being a wife and mom was a subpar position to any career they could have outside the home. Without family love. We must plant in our children the desire to have family love. What does that look like? That looks like when our little girls are little, we give them dolls, baby dolls to play with so that they can learn the art and love the art of nurturing. That means we talk to our sons and we say, do you want to be a dad and a husband? We ask them that instead of, do you want to be a football player? That means that we keep our daughters off the boy crazy train and we dare to believe that they could have a relationship with just one man. That means that we turn off the PlayStation and we turn our boys onto a hard work ethic. It means that we teach our sons to love servant leadership by doing practical things, by teaching them to open doors for their mother and for their sisters. It means that we open up Proverbs 31, realizing that it was written to a son, and we call both our daughters and our sons to look for that precious, more precious than rubies relationship that God has crafted to be a picture of his love for the body. Give them a passion for the picture. Step number 2, protect the desire for family by keeping the little in your girl and building the good in your son. When was the last time you saw a 12-year-old girl that looked like a girl instead of a young woman? The culture is pressing them to grow up too soon, and they are being robbed of their ability to look like the picture of Christ in the church. And in taking the goodness from our sons are no longer desirous of that relationship. How do you do it? Well, there's 2 things that I think are really important, and we need to give our congregations and ourselves permission. First, learn to say no. Everybody practice with me on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful, you can do it. I can do it, but I have to be reminded because sometimes those 17-year-old girls scare me to death. No to padded bras for our 8-year-olds. No to too much PlayStation and digital killing sprees. No to boy craziness. No to dolls that look like prostitutes. Hello. No to music lyrics that our teenagers aren't really listening to. It's okay to say no. Your kids will survive it. They may accuse you of being Amish, but you will survive it. But do me this solid favor, and that is remember to say yes more than you say no, and this is a weakness in my house and me. Say yes more than you say no. Positive parenting messages are so much more potent than negative ones, aren't they? And so we say yes to everything we can. We say yes to an entire trunk of groovy girl dolls because it's expensive, but the purveyor, the creator of the dolls, believes in the values that I believe in. I said yes to hot pink highlights for my 5th grade daughter because her heart was good. We said yes to my son shaving his head in 6th grade because the stinking youth pastor did. We said yes to some PlayStation, just the right kind and not too much. Every Thursday night, my husband said yes to our middle school son, and at 9 o'clock, they left the house at bedtime to go get wings. Yes to an open heart to our son that still remains today, and yes to heartburn every Friday morning for my husband. Yes to driving 6 hours round trip for my daughter this summer because she felt close to a girl she met at camp and she felt closer to God when she was with her. Yes to shopping till my teenage girls drop as long as it's modest and they're not accusing me of being Amish. And yes, yes, and oh yes to my marriage. That means that at any cost, whatever it takes, you do what it takes to fix it when it's feeling dispassionate.